Institutes of the Christian Religion by John Calvin, Book 1, Chapter 5. Man, nevertheless, failing to know and worship him, falls into superstition and confusion. Sections 11 to 12. Section 11. The evidence of God in creation does not profit us. But although the Lord represents both himself and his everlasting kingdom in the mirror of his works with very great clarity, such is our stupidity that we grow increasingly dull towards so manifest testimonies, and they flow away without profiting us. For with regard to the most beautiful structure and order of the universe, how many of us are there who, when we lift up our eyes to heaven, or cast them about through the various regions of earth, recall our minds to a remembrance of the Creator, and do not rather, disregarding their author, sit idly in contemplation of his works. In fact, with regard to those events which daily take place outside the ordinary course of nature, how many of us do not reckon that men are whirled and twisted about by blindly indiscriminate fortune, rather than governed by God's providence? Sometimes we are driven by the leading and direction of these things to contemplate God. This of necessity happens to all men. Yet after we rashly grasp a conception of some sort of divinity, straightway we fall back into ravings or evil imaginings of our flesh, and corrupt by our vanity the pure truth of God. In one respect, we are indeed unlike, because each one of us privately forges his own particular error. Yet we are very much alike in that, one and all, we forsake the one true God for prodigious trifles. Not only the common folk and dull-witted men, but also the most excellent and those otherwise endowed with keen discernment are infected with this disease. In this regard, how volubly has the whole tribe of philosophers shown their stupidity and silliness! For even though we may excuse the others, who act like utter fools, Plato, the most religious of all and the most circumspect, also vanishes in his round globe. And what might not happen to others when the leading minds, whose task it is to light the pathway for the rest, wander and stumble? It is the same where the governance of human affairs shows providence so manifestly that we cannot deny it. Yet we profit no more by it than if we believed that all things were turned topsy-turvy by the heedless will of fortune. So great is our inclination toward vanity and error. I always speak of the most excellent, not of those vulgar folk whose madness in profaning God's truth is beyond measure.